Street Fighter V released when it first came out in a rocky state. There was not really a lot of things outside of, I believe it was like mission mode, a basic, really bare bones arcade mode to unlock colors, and online. Street Fighter V really started off with not a lot of, I guess you can say, like hype behind it, even though everyone was ready for Street Fighter V when it was first announced. You know, it's riding off the curtails of Ultra Street Fighter 4, which had, it was like almost the best Street Fighter, I would say, go as far as to say. It had skins, the updates were really good, every new character added was just like mind-blowing. So having like just that kind of like heat behind it really helped Street Fighter V's hype. So when that trailer of Ryu and Chun-Li were fighting in what I believe is to be Main Street, Chinatown, they showed stage transitions, which were like something we haven't seen since Street Fighter 3, I believe Double Impact? I forget the name, but I did a video on it. If you want to check out that video on that game and also which stage transitions, just check here on the screen. I'll have it in the link in the description and also at the title card. So when this game first came out, it didn't come out to, I would say, a finished game state. It was super bare bones, and the online was really bad. Even for PS4 and Steam, it was just hard to play. Characters were teleporting everywhere. The netcode was just really bad. So as a person who was able to experience during this time, because Street Fighter released during the middle to end of my high school, I really got to experience a lot more than like the older fighting games. You know, I did play them, but I was too young to really like get into the scenes. Like I played around the people in the scenes, I just never played with them, if that makes sense. So now looking back at the finished product of Street Fighter V, I think if Street Fighter V released the way it did, I would say around Arcade Edition, it would had a lot more I guess you could say like backing and hype towards it, but it was Capcom's, it was looking like Capcom's final Street Fighter V. Obviously we know that's not true because we have Street Fighter 6 now, which if you want, I'll do a video on why you should play Street Fighter 6 as well. But this series is more for like older fighting games and just kind of getting you really into them and understanding them, because some people may have never even played Street Fighter V who only play 6. And now that Street Fighter V is like in its complete state and readily available for anyone, it should be something that, you know, you should go back and play and really appreciate. Because now going back into playing, I'm seeing a lot of things that correspond to Street Fighter 6. Like even V canceling. It's the same thing as Drive Rush, but just without the running aspect of it. So it's really cool to see how the game has progressed over the years. So, without further ado, we're going to just go over, you know, the quick bare bones of the game. I wouldn't say bare bones, but the quick bones of the game, like, you know, it's arcade mode and stuff like that. Just a quick, brief run through. Also, too, I'm not going to go over the entire series, or I would say, like, all the editions. So, I'm not going to go over arcade. I'm just going to start with Street Fighter V Basic, like the first version of it and its last version, and kind of just encompass everything. So Street Fighter V as a whole, not really just as its addition. So without further ado, let's just hop into the arcade mode. Oh, and quick thing, remember, like, comment, subscribe. All right, love you. Now looking at what we're seeing, how Street Fighter was developed and how it kind of had a rocky start, like I said before, it's interesting to see even the finished product. And now we're gonna kind of just jump straight into Champion Edition and just look at Street Fighter V as a whole. And then when I say I really like the arcade and how it's set up, the arcade system and how they set up is perfect. You have Street Fighter 1 through 5, or technically 6 if you kind of count Alpha as a mainline game, because it is a side game. The arcade is well done. I think being able to play with characters from that game is really cool. So you get to play with, like in Street Fighter 3, Alex, Ken, but you can't play with Alex in Street Fighter 4 because he's not in that game. So it's really cool to see. And then Street Fighter V's arcade is just playing with any character and going to fight Bison at the end. So the arcade, I say, is really well done. I think having that there and helping newcomers even see what the old Street Fighter characters and where they're from, and like on the right hand side, excuse me, how it has like a little synopsis about, you know, the characters and what dates the games were released in. So I don't even have to do all the heavy lifting here. Capcom did it for me. So now we're just gonna go straight into the story mode, and the story mode is okay. It was released to mixed acclaim because it didn't come out when the game was released. I believe it was a few months. I'll put exactly when it came up here on screen, but it came out a few, I wouldn't say months, I think it was like a year or two later the story mode came out. I know it was like towards the end of season 1 for Street Fighter V, after I believe it was Juri and what's her name, the Ice Girl was released. So it was really cool to see that. It was really cool to see how, you know, let's add this story mode that everyone was asking for. I believe it gave you like a lot of fight credits and things of that nature for completing it. You got to see a lot of the old cast. Sean is also in it as well, so it was cool to see Sean again, even though we wish he was in the game. He hasn't been in Street Fighter since 3, so it would be cool to see Sean make a revival, hopefully in Street Fighter 6. We're waiting on you, Sean. We're waiting on you. So the story mode was pretty bare bones. It's taking place after the events of Alpha, where Charlie was presumed dead. Going into Street Fighter 4, Charlie's presumed dead. You know, Guile's trying to get his revengeance with Chun-Li to, you know, take down Shadowly. So Street Fighter V is the continuation of that, and come to find out, I guess, spoilers alert for like almost a half a decade old game. He isn't dead, and his name is Nash, which his name's always been Nash, but it's Charlie in America, I believe, and Nash Japan. So it was cool to see Nash come back. He was I think one of the best characters when the game first came out in vanilla Street Fighter 5, excuse me. He really was cooking. That Crescent Strike was OD, and then he had like this leap that he can jump over and grab you. He had like a ability to negate Fireball. Like, dude had everything. He was really good. I played Nash a lot. He was really good. I loved his character design of being like this Frankenstein character. He looked really cool. It wasn't just like Shadow. For if you played Marvel vs. Capcom, you would know like Shadow was a thing. So it was really cool to see Charlie making a comeback and being able to really like be the forerunner, because we're so used to Ryu being the main header. Since Street Fighter 1, Ryu's been like the main character. The only time he stopped being the main character was in Street Fighter 3, because Alex was the headliner of that game. But else, every game after that, Ryu still becomes the poster boy. So, and I'm not talking about spin-offs like EX Plus Alpha or the other one, I can't think of its name. You have Alpha, EX Plus Alpha, and I'm forgetting one, but if anything, I'll put it on screen. So it was really cool to see like how the story mode and arcade mode really progressed. And you know, you have mission mode, which allows you to get pieces of a costume and really like cook. And that was another thing I want to quickly just go over was Street Fighter V's costume roster goes hard. I would say even harder than Street Fighter 4's at the end of like Ultra. Like Street Fighter V is right there. So that's why I'm like really disappointed in Street Fighter 6 on how like the lack of costumes there really are, especially coming from Street Fighter 4 and 5, which were just the goats of costumes. Like these guys were dropping heat after heat, free costumes that you could get the pieces for from like Monster Hunter, Mega Man, and like it made your character more wanting to play with them more. It wasn't just another color swap or EX color as they call it in Street Fighter 6. If this was an actual costume that you yourself could technically put together, like a Mega Man game. Like, you know how you get the different pieces of the armor, and then next thing you know, you have the full armor set by the time you get the whole thing. So I don't know if they did that on purpose, but if they did, that was pretty cool of a nod to their other games that Capcom has made. So I would say, like, yeah, Street Fighter V is definitely worth the play. There's nothing really bad about Street Fighter. Like, looking back at it, like, yeah, obviously the netcode wasn't great. A lot of the controversy of how characters were kind of just ruling the online space and, you know, balancing issues. Like, but that's like every fighting game. There's no perfect fighting game to be made. So I would say Street Fighter V, especially now coming back from Street Fighter 6, because I did play a lot of Street Fighter V. And the nostalgia I have for this game is really good. Like, I would say it's not bad. It's like, you know, I go back and play like Street Fighter Third Strike and, you know, or Street Fighter 3, excuse me. And that's when I started playing Street Fighter. Like, I played Alpha as a kid, but I didn't really, like, I was like 5. So I didn't really, like, totally understand it. But by the time I was in, like, middle school, Street Fighter 3 had came out. And I was really, like, enjoying that game. I was really going nuts in it. And I was really good with, like, Yun and Yang. Those are, like, my favorite characters. But I would say my favorite characters in Street Fighter 5, I would say is Kayleen, I think it is. I pretty much butchered her name. Lucy is pretty fun. This version of Cody, I say, is the best version of Cody that there will ever exist in a Street Fighter game. But yeah, the soundtrack in this game is really good. And if anything, I'll put right here on the screen my favorite soundtrack. Yeah, I really liked Sakura's song. I've always been a Sakura fan since the Alpha days and EX Plus Alpha days. So, like, I've really been playing with her since then. I even play with her. I have a team for her in MVC too. Like, I just love Sakura. She's one of my favorite characters in Street Fighter. And I love her development in this game too, of not just being the, oh, guys, look, I'm such a quirky schoolgirl. Yeah, like, now she's like, what does it mean? Like, she's trying to have a life. And I do appreciate that about her character. And how they actually developed the characters in this game. I think having a mentor, the mentor of Menat be Rose, was really cool. I thought that was really cool, and showing that the progression and them trying to move forward. So I was actually excited when, you know, before Street Fighter 6 came out to see what was Street Fighter 6 going to be like, man. And even Luke's introduction to Street Fighter in this game was really cool. So I say, you know, this game definitely deserves its time. It definitely deserves having the time it deserves. And I would actually give this game now, the finished version of Champion Edition, I would give it maybe about 7 Hadoukens out of 10. It's not a perfect game, but it definitely holds its weight even still to this day. Like, if you don't want to play Street Fighter 6, you feel like the game isn't really as great as you thought it was, or you're still getting that Street Fighter itch but 6 isn't hitting, I say go back and play 5. 5 is definitely a game that has a lot of elements of Street Fighter 6 in it, so you're not going to feel out of place, but the character roster, in my opinion, is better. It has really great characters, it has really great stages, and yeah, even G is such a great character. So I would even go as far as to say just try it out. Without further ado, that ends this video, and I should have another video coming out soon for a really special game that I played a lot when I was a kid with my brothers and sisters, and it's near and dear to my heart. And with that, I'll leave you with this. See you later, and remember, stay my X's. Peace.